more local now. This is Wave 3 News.
This is a close race. We are not conceding this race by any stretch. Not a chance.
Governor Matt Bevin says it's too close to call. Right now, less than 5,000 votes separate the candidates for Kentucky governor. NBC News has declared Andy Beshear the apparent winner. He's given a victory speech, but Bevin is not giving up the fight.
So the big question going into tonight, can a Democrat win in a deep red state 1 year from a presidential election on the day after a rally with the president? The answer appears to be yes.
With 100% of precincts reporting, Beshear leads Bevin by a margin of 0.3 percentage points. There is no mandatory recount law in Kentucky, but Bevin could request a recanvass where counties check votes to ensure results were added correctly. It is not a recount. That would need to be approved by the court and then paid for by Bevin.
We have team coverage for you tonight. Connie Leonard's with the Republicans at the Gold House. Mike Fussell is analyzing the election results, and Rachel Krause is live with the upset in Clark County, Indiana.
But we begin with David Mattingly with the Democrats at the C2 event venue and Andy Beshear claiming victory there tonight, David.
That's right. By the thinnest of margins, Andy Beshear took the stage tonight and claimed the title of governor-elect. And here's what it looked like. A lot of cheers from some very enthusiastic supporters tonight. Beshear said more than once that the election is over, and he gave a very forward-looking acceptance speech that was heavy on thanks to teachers. And in a case of political deja vu, it was Jefferson County votes again that put Beshear over the top, just as they did during the primary.
To our educators, this is your victory. From now on, the doors of your state capitol will always be open. We will treat each other with dignity and respect, and we will honor our commitments to our public servants. We will make sure that promises made are promises kept.
Nowhere is this race being watched more than in Washington, D.C. I spoke to Democrat Amy McGrath tonight, a Democratic hopeful who plans to take on Mitch McConnell in 2020, and she says that by watching the Beshear campaign, she believes she also has a path to victory next year. Well, let's go now to Connie Leonard with the Bevin campaign.
Hey, David. Well, this is one of the strangest nights of election results that I can remember. First, the GOP ticket pretty much wins all the races easily, except for in the governor's race. It goes down to the wire, separated by a few thousand votes. And then the governor comes out here on stage and says he is not conceding. So this is what he did have to say about it.
There have been more than a few irregularities. They are very well corroborated, and that's all right. What they are exactly, how many, which ones, and what effect, if any, they have will be determined according to law that's well established. And just for the record,
Now, Bevin told the crowd of supporters will follow the process and see what plays out in the weeks ahead. He did say whoever is the governor moving forward, that person should be supported. He just said that person. He did not say the name of Andy Beshear. He did thank everyone in the room, and then he made his way out. So this is going to be an interesting one, guys. So stay tuned. Live at the Gold House, Connie Leonard, Wave 3 News.
And one other strange first, Connie, in 34 years of covering election nights, the first time I've ever seen both of the candidates come out on the stage at the same time.
Yeah, never happens.
Never happens. All right. Kentucky voter turnout was nearly 41%, about 10 points higher than was projected. We've been tracking the results here all night long.
And Wave 3 News reporter Mike Fussell has been analyzing what gave Andy Beshear that 4,600 vote lead. So what made the difference for him?
Well, first of all, if you take a look at the map here, there's just more blue on it overall. You see, in 2015, the Democrats won about 14 different counties tonight. That's up by about 9 counties to 23. In our area, the closest ones that flipped there would be Woodford County, Scott County. And another thing that contributed, not a flip, but just an overall bigger win in Jefferson County, as we stated earlier. The numbers there, about 100,000 more votes. So in 2015, that was only about a 38,000 vote win for Jack Conway. And then the third thing that really helped out Andy Beshear tonight was looking in the top corner here. John Hicks, the third party candidate there, taking in about 28,000 votes overall. That well exceeds the margin that we saw here tonight between Beshear and Bevin. Definitely a contributing factor. Shannon, John, back to you.
All right, Mike, thanks. So public education, then a hot topic in the governor's race, teachers waging war on Matt Bevin over his pension proposals.
So did the sea of red that showed up in Frankfurt in controversial sick outs help vote Bevin out of office? Here, Wave 3 News education reporter Sarah Vest continues team coverage. So you've been talking to teachers tonight. What have they been saying?
Well, teachers, they've been bracing themselves for today, many pushing and advocating for a change in leadership for months now, and it appears that's exactly what they're getting. You've seen the signs, heard the protesters. Educators made their voices heard during this election season, demanding better treatment from those on top. Dozens of very happy teachers were at C2 tonight for the Democratic Election Watch Party and were thrilled when Beshear made his victory speech.
I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so excited. As soon as the precincts from Jefferson County were reporting and the numbers started to flip, I just anxious and jittery and excited.
Shockingly enough, given the history that teachers have with Matt Bevin, not so shocking, of course, this was important because we really saw this as maybe a referendum on how he treated educators, state employees, and honestly what I feel like are all Kentuckians. And so I feel like this was our place to come back and say, no, I don't allow this in my classroom. I'm not allowing this in my state.
Lots of educators in that room, and you can really see the shift when Beshear took the lead tonight. Also, tonight there's a new member of the JCPS school board, so we have more information on that online on wave3.com.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
A history made tonight, too, in the Attorney General's race as Republican Daniel Cameron became the first African-American to win the office and the first Republican to hold that office in 70 years. Here's a look at the numbers. Cameron cruising to victory with 58% of the vote, defeating former Kentucky Attorney General Greg Stumbo. Here's part of Cameron's victory speech.
But I'm also incredibly grateful to all Kentuckians who looked at the Attorney General's race and made a determination that they wanted a new start in the office. They wanted someone in that office who was going to get back to the bread and butter basics of being the chief law enforcement officer and defending and enforcing the laws that are passed by the General Assembly and signed by the governor. Look.
President Donald Trump tweeted his congratulations to Cameron tonight, saying, quote, "Great going, Daniel. Proud of you."
Now to the race for Kentucky's Secretary of State. A lot of people thought going into tonight the one sure thing for the Democrats was Heather French Henry. She was defeated by Republican Michael Adams. Here's a look at the numbers. Adams grabbed 52% of the vote. He's relatively unknown in politics. An attorney and former elections board member taking on a former Miss America and veterans advocate. Even Adams was somewhat surprised by the results.
Tonight, Mission Impossible has become mission accomplished. A lot of people didn't expect me to give a victory speech tonight. I know, because at one time I was one of them. Even just a few months ago, even after a year and a half of nonstop campaigning, we were down double digits, and it didn't look like we had a path to win. But even while we stared into the abyss, facing a humiliating defeat, we never stopped trying. We never stopped working. We set a plan, tuned out the naysayers, and just executed.
Our Decision 2019 coverage continues right now on the free Wave 3 News app, where you will find a complete list of election results from both Kentucky and southern Indiana.
And another traffic nightmare expected during the morning commute through downtown Louisville as crews scramble to make emergency repairs.
If you can, you'll want to avoid I-65 southbound near downtown Louisville. It's been a mess for days. Lane closures near the Arthur Street exit have been causing major delays. Those are expected to continue as well tomorrow.
Wave 3 News reporter Taylor Durden explains what drivers need to know.
For the foreseeable future, this ramp here on Preston Street to get on I-65 southbound will be shut down. There will also be 2 lanes of I-65 southbound that will be closed too. This is all because of concerns over the concrete of the bridge over a hill street that's starting to deteriorate. The last time the bridge was checked and inspected was in December 2018. On Friday, inspectors checked it again and noticed some deterioration in the concrete that concerned them, so they shut down the left-hand lane of the southbound side of I-65. On Monday, they checked it again in the daylight and realized it was worse than they thought. The left and middle lanes are now closed until further notice.
We have people that are very trained to do this. They are not going to put motorists in any kind of harm's way, so in the area that people are driving on right now, we are confident is a safe area for motorists.
With traffic down to 1 lane, drivers experienced some bumper-to-bumper traffic Tuesday afternoon during rush hour. So KYTC is now using the right shoulder as a second driving lane. They'll be putting some permanent striping down to make that shoulder an actual lane. That will happen on Wednesday. They also have reduced the speed limit in that area to 45 miles per hour while crews start to make those necessary repairs underneath the bridge. Reporting in Louisville, Taylor Durden, Wave 3 News.
Murder charges have been filed in what police say was a deadly DUI crash on Dixie Highway. 21-year-old Nolan Wood is also charged with DUI, reckless driving, and not having insurance. Police say his blood alcohol content was .128. He's accused of striking a vehicle pulling out of Shorty's Food Mart on Sunday. The driver of that vehicle, Melissa Rowe, died from her injuries the next day.
We're going to get back into the election coverage just ahead here on Wave 3 News at 11, including several races for mayor in southern Indiana. One contest decided by only 30 votes. We're live in Clark County with it next.
Plus, the tip-off to the college basketball season. The Cards, Cats, and Hoosiers all in action tonight.
Clear skies, chilly temperatures overnight, but it's even colder later in the week. We're talking highs in the 30s. I'll show you when in that 7-day breakdown. The forecast is coming up next. Check out these numbers from the Kentucky Lottery. The Mega Millions at $127 million. That Powerball jackpot's $40 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, providing over $3 billion in grants and scholarships. This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. More local now. You're watching Wave 3 News at 11 with Shannon Kogan, John Bull, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harnan, and Sports Director Ken Taylor.
Now back to our coverage of Decision 2019. In southern Indiana, voters today deciding who will lead their communities.
An extremely tight race in Clark County where just 30 votes decided the race for Charlestown mayor. Political newcomer Trevor Hodges unseating Mayor Bob Hall 51% to 49% after what turned out to be an ugly race. Southern Indiana reporter Rachel Krause with a big upset tonight. Rachel.
And get this, she won by just 30 votes. That's it, 30. But for the small town there, this kind of change will be monumental. Hall, who campaigned on his tenure of improving the livability and image of Charlestown and helping to manage the growth brought on by River Ridge, wasn't able to hang on for another term. Hodges won support from voters for her ideas of bringing more transparency to government and tackling issues that have long plagued the community by advocating for dealing with lawsuits facing the town over redevelopment plans in the Pleasant Ridge neighborhood. The victory tonight, a slim margin, though that doesn't matter much to Hodges. She says whether you voted for her or not, it's time to get to work.
And this is not the time to gloat. This is not the time to brag. It's a time to heal. And to everybody who didn't vote for me, I would say that you're going to be able to have your voice heard. And you can always feel free to come and express yourself.
Hodges says following her victory tonight, she wants to immediately get to work focusing on reaching across party lines, as well as working with people in the community in a more transparent manner. We reached out to Bob Hall's campaign following the election. We were told he would not be available to comment tonight. Reporting live in Jeffersonville, Rachel Krause, Wave 3 News.
And now to Jeffersonville, where Mayor Mike Moore is celebrating re-election tonight. The Republican incumbent gaining an easy victory over former Jeffersonville Mayor Democrat Tom Galligan. Moore taking 69% of the vote. That means he'll begin a third term as Jeffersonville mayor in January. Moore says his work is not finished yet.
River Ridge is 75% vacant still. We've got an enormous amount of room for growth. We've done $54 million in infrastructure improvements over the last 8 years. We've done all of this without raising taxes. You know, the incentive to live in Jeff is you get to recoup the benefits from all these new businesses. They're pouring new money into our city. We're adding police officers, firefighters. We're building new parks.
Moore says he was hoping to win by 10%, but the large margin of victory proves people are happy in Jeffersonville and the city is headed in the right direction.
No surprises in New Albany, where Mayor Jeff Gahan won re-election. The Democratic incumbent finished with 55% of the vote, beating out Republican challenger Mark Seabrook and independent candidate Dan Coffey. Gahan says he is thrilled to have the opportunity to keep the positive momentum going.
And so it's really a great feeling to know that they're continuing to support us, and we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep doing all the things that we've done in the past. We're going to keep making investments in New Albany, and we're going to keep doing everything we can do to make New Albany a better place. I think there's a real
mayoral races also decided tonight in Seymour, Madison, Austin, Scottsburg, and Salem. You will find those results right now on the free Wave 3 News app and wave3.com.
Okay, the exit polling tonight showing a lot of people listened to Kevin, and they went and voted after 9 a.m. when the rain would be out of here. You did well in the exit poll.
Well, yeah, and what a turnout. I mean, we're looking at some of those numbers.
40%.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So was a lot of folks out and about. They soaked up some sunshine this afternoon, and tonight they're dealing with clear skies. In the morning, a little patchy fog to contend with, but that'll go away, and we'll be left with temperatures warming into the 60s, but not before a cold start. You'll need the coat in the morning. Temperatures in the 30s to start the day. In fact, around the area tonight, a clear sky. Temperature already down to 41 in the city. Those winds lightening up just a bit as well. Nationwide view shows not a lot happening across the country. The front moving off the east coast as high pressure moves in here will give us a quiet night tonight and a fairly quiet day tomorrow before the next big weather maker moves in, and that is Thursday morning. So Wednesday's quiet, Thursday big changes are on the way. Here's the deal. You can see by Thursday at 3 a.m. a few light showers are possible. A bigger slug of moisture comes in during the morning commute on Thursday. There you see it. Some rain, moderate to heavy at times. And then as the rain moves through, cold air is going to be trying to nudge in. Consequently, it's the battle of the two. And on the northern edge of the precip, we could have some wintry weather. We're talking at least some snow mixed in across central and southern Indiana. Watch what happens as I put the Futurecast into motion. Here we are at 11 a.m. on Thursday. We go into the afternoon, and yes, we could get in on some of that wintry precip across our viewing area as it comes to an end as it moves to our south. With that said, I don't think we have to worry about a whole lot of problems with this, but it certainly bears watching, and it's going to be noticeable. And in fact, those temperatures keep going down. We'll fall into the 20s by early Friday. Once again, let's go through Thursday morning. We see the rain increasing through the morning rush. As the rain starts to fade away, the cold temperatures are coming in. That pink indicating a wintry mix anywhere between 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, gradually fading out altogether. Currently in Louisville, we're under a clear sky. The temperature's 41, and that's what it feels like outside. Temperature drops to 34 for that low. Some patchy fog by morning. We'll see temperatures tomorrow warm a bit, and tomorrow very well goes down as the pick of the week. 62 for the high. Here's the 7-day breakdown. I'll point out a couple of things. The rain chance Wednesday is late at night. That carries over and increases throughout the overnight hours into Thursday. And that's where we pointed out that highest rain chance through the morning hours. That's one system that moves our way. That cools us down in a big way. Temperatures in the upper 40s early Thursday will be dropping back through the 30s in the afternoon, down to 27 by Friday morning. Friday comes in cold, a high of 43. Saturday, we're looking at a high of 47. If you're headed downtown to the Soul Music Festival, expect those chilly temperatures to last right through the weekend. We'll fall back into the upper 30s by midnight. Going into Sunday, we actually warm it up just a bit. Rain chances, they're going up once again with rain or snow showers possible. This front's even stronger, a little less moisture or precipitation with this front, but the cold air behind it is stronger, and that takes us back into the 30s for highs early next week and lows for some in the teens.
But nice tomorrow, good enough to go out for a run to work off some of the election day cookies that we all ate.
Why are you looking at me?
I think you had like 12.
3.
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah. Oh,
Focus
man,
in.
both of us.
All right, finally, some great news. We are past the exhibitions. It is time for serious college basketball. Ken has more with that.
These games count. Still out here at 11. More polls. The top teams in college basketball's preseason poll, all in action, including number 5 U of L on the road in an ACC opener. Highlights and some reaction from Miami. Next in sports.
Wave 3 News Sports Night is sponsored by DraftKings.
Well, for the first time in 38 years, U of L tipped off the season with a conference game. Year 2 of the Chris Mack era getting underway in Miami. Cards down 16-9 when Ryan McMahon caught fire. 3 straight threes. He had 16 points. Dwayne Sutton with the offensive rebound and the putback. He had 16 and 5 boards. Jordan Wara to Stephen Enoch for the slam. The big fella with 11 points and 12 rebounds. Freshman Samuel Williamson added 13. U of L led 45-26 at the half. That's a 36-10 run to close it. And Wara caught fire in the second half. He hit 4 triples, and he throws this one down from McMahon. 23 points and 12 boards for Jordan. Cards win at 87-74. They're 1-0. Hosts Youngstown State on Sunday at 2.
I thought for 32 minutes, I was really pleased with our team. Last 8 minutes, you give Miami credit, not to hit some tough shots, but we weren't the same team in the last 8 minutes, and I don't expect us to be in game 1.
Jeff Walz welcoming former U of L assistant Greg Collins and WKU into the KFC Yum Center tonight. And Walz has some big-time newcomers like Georgia Tech transfer Elizabeth Balagoon. She had 15 on 5 threes. Dana Evans is back. She had a game-high 19. The nice feed from Jazz Jones, one of her 10 assists. Cards win at 75-56. They host Murray State Friday night at 7. Former Owen County star Carson Williams making his WKU debut in Bowling Green. He transferred from Northern Kentucky. Williams tips in the Charles Bassey miss. They each had 16 and 9 rebounds. Toppers beat Tennessee Tech 76-64 for a 1-0 start. All right, number 1 versus number 2. Yes, please give us some more. The nightcap at the Champions Classic in New York City. Old friends Tom Izzo and John Calipari matching wits in this one. Ashton Hagans has got that thing on a string. The fancy dribbling and then the jumper for an 11-4 Cats lead. Tyrese Maxey seems to like the big stage. The freshman for 3, 21-18 Cats. They extended the lead later in the half. Emmanuel quickly with the triple. UK with a 34-24 halftime lead, but Michigan State has closed the gap early in the second. Cats up by a few right now. IU hosted the Fighting Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Rob Finney did play the lob to Justin Smith for the slam. Smith was the star tonight, a career-high tying 24. 4 IU players of double figures. They win at 98-65. They're 1-0. Host Portland State on Sunday at 2.
We're off and running here. We played a lot of guys, which was good to see, and as we get a little bit more healthy and get Devontae back, I think everyone can tell that there's not a guy that doesn't belong out there.
That Portland State game Saturday at 2. Up next, some major news for the IU football team, plus those college football playoff rankings are out. All right, the first college football playoff rankings came out tonight. Indiana not in the top 25. And today the Hoosiers lost quarterback Michael Penix for the season with a shoulder injury. The Hoosiers are off this week, but they do visit number 4 Penn State in a week and a half. Ohio State's number 1, followed by LSU and Alabama, who play each other on Saturday. Now, Cat's highlight of the night, and back to Miami. The nice look from Ryan McMahon to Jordan Wara for the one-handed slam. The preseason ACC Player of the Year certainly looked the part tonight. And
wow.
I have a feeling that highlight may hold up for a good part of the year.
Yeah, the way he reached back, clutched
kind of Donovan Mitchell-like.
Very Donovan-like.
Got to think Chris Mack got everything he wanted out of this game. A road win, an ACC win, and they gave up the lead late so he can be all fired up and act like he's mad in the locker room. So, yeah.
That's good. We'll be right back. Well, what an election night. Just less than 5,000 votes.
It's not quite over yet, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not over yet. We'll be following this for the next few weeks.
Yeah, we're going to have a recanvass, maybe a recount. Buckle in. It is not over yet after an eventful night.
Yeah, but more election coverage tomorrow morning on Wave 3 News Sunrise. Have a good one.
See you tomorrow.
More local now. Watch Wave 3 News on your favorite device. Sponsored by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.